I'm sure many of you remember when GTS Wrestling had full of male wrestlers back in 2016, and you don't rarely see a female competing in the ring at that time. And less than a year later, GTS Wrestling was moved to a warehouse due to the state law that Grimm was told he was not allowed to have a wrestling show in a private home property, even though Grimm is still running the backyard wrestling near his house to this day, especially maybe this was based on either a different county law or a newly enforced law. Either way, my main point about this video is that by the time GTS was moved to the warehouse, fans have witnessed two of the first female wrestlers competing in GTS Wrestling, especially that one female wrestler who spent her time in GTS Wrestling, and her name is ThunderRosa. Before I talk about it, if you're watching this, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and tap the little bell so you don't want to miss the latest content on YouTube. Alrighty then, let's go. In case you don't know about ThunderRosa, she is a Mex-American talented woman who wrestled in multiple promotions. She competed at Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, Women of Wrestling, Tokyo Joshi Pro, NWA, and AEW. At some point, she is also an MMA fighter. When it comes to seeing her at GTS Wrestling, well, here's how the story went. On June 14th, 2017, we would see the debut of ThunderRosa and her sister, Holodead, known as the Twisted Sisters. Even though GTS does not have the women's division, ThunderRosa would take a risk by issuing an open challenge against any men wrestlers on the roster, despite the fact that the entire GTS roster already has a full of men in 2017. She would be confronted by the US champion El Jefe Rojo. Rojo issued a challenge for the Twisted Sisters. If one of the two ladies pins him in a tag team match, would get a title opportunity for the GTS United States title at Food and Fridge on pay-per-view. The Twisted Sisters wrestled their first match on GTS as they went up against El Jefe Rojo and JJ Adams in a tag team match, playa. It was a great debut matchup for the Twisted Sisters as ThunderRosa got the pinfall victory over the US champion, thus getting a title opportunity at the pay-per-view. On to her second appearance in GTS, she faced El Jefe Rojo for the US title at the first ever Food in the Fridge. Eventually, she won the GTS United States title. El Jefe Rojo would congratulate her on becoming the first ever to hold the US title in GTS Wrestling. Although her celebration didn't last long as she only held the US title for 74 seconds until Soda Pop Smith successfully cashed in to win the United States title. I mean, come on now. She doesn't deserve to lose the title like that. ThunderRosa would not be seen on GTS for the remainder of 2017 until February 14th, 2018, which was on Valentine's Day. On her third appearance, she and her sister Holodead were both announced as the new signee to RWA, or whatever that name is, according to Matt Castle, aka Brandon. But then ThunderRosa denied that she was never signed with RWA in the first place. Therefore, she and her sister are on GTS side. Later, she would take on Jay the Key Evans in an intergender singles match.
I cannot be nobody's Valentine if you look skinnier than I do.
Throughout this whole entire match, there were some lockups, great back and forth between these two, pinfall attempts, and mostly Jay is trying to make out with her on Valentine's Day. Spoiler alert, he actually did it. But then ThunderRosa hits with a low blow. Despite the fact that this is GTS with no restricted rules, she would hit a Fire Thunder Driver, which I believe that's the name of her finishing move, and wins the match. The match was okay, but usually in GTS, they don't offer longer matches like 10 plus minutes or so. After her match, her sister Holodead would go toe-to-toe with Hollywood Hooligan and win the match unexpectedly. On the following day, ThunderRosa made her fourth appearance when she teamed up with her friend Duhop formerly known as El Jefe Rojo, against Tony Emerald and Corey Dillinger in a tag team match for the YouTube Championship, which is pretty odd if you ask me. I know there are rare times when a tag team match is contested for a single championship. Just look at WCW 2000 when DDP and David Arquette fought against Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff in a tag team match for the WCW Championship. At least there's not a single controversial moment in this tag team match for the YouTube title. Say, isn't it just great that ThunderRosa stood toe-to-toe with some big sweaty guys? I'm just kidding. It's great to see some kind of maneuver that she put out in a lucha style. Not to mention, I just realized that she was wearing a Golden State Warriors attire in the ring. She was about to win the YouTube title after she hit a double stomp on Corey's back, but then Duhop had to be such a jerk, pushed her out of the ring, and gets to retain the YouTube title. Oh, and I just want to point out that Manabo had to be a biased referee who's not even trying to call it down right in the middle because he's a heel, that's why. I mean, do you like that? Probably not. After the match, Duhop was trying to confess that he doesn't want to lose that YouTube title, but ThunderRosa claimed that she was robbed from a title match, not once but twice. But hey, she's not wrong, you know. One was the US title and the other was the YouTube title. She said whenever she comes back, she would ask for a GTS YouTube title match. Later on, her sister Holodead would compete in a random three-way match against Hollywood Hooligan and somewhat a luchador guy named El Ringo, who seems to be very familiar, or is it Landscaper? But yeah, Holodead picked up the victory as ThunderRosa went on to celebrate with her sister. In the following month, well, it's pretty odd that Holodead came out without her sister when she fought against James Ellsworth for the Intergender Championship, but didn't manage to win it. ThunderRosa was nowhere to be seen on GTS Wrestling until November 3rd when she went on to face Duhop in the first round of Clown Duels tournament match. Say, remember when she wanted a YouTube title match? Guess what? She's gonna have to earn it when she goes toe-to-toe with Duhop. Honestly, she and Duhop had a great chemistry together in GTS, especially outside the ring. As far as how I'm seeing this match, ThunderRosa pulled off great matches in the ring, but I'm sure many of you probably know that she could be the next top face of the women's division in any major companies. Unfortunately, at the end of this match, Duhop botches finishing move on ThunderRosa and somehow gets the victory. These two would still be best friends at the end, and that's the last time we would see ThunderRosa in GTS Wrestling. On to the aftermath of her time in GTS. Less than a year later, she went on to sign with a major wrestling company known as National Wrestling Alliance. Then on January 24th, 2020, she captured the NWA World Women's title when she defeated Allison Kay at NWA Hard Times, thus becoming the first ever Mexican-born wrestler to win the championship. During her time as the NWA Women's World Champion, she became a fighting champion despite a pandemic during that time. But hey, great to see her competing in a major wrestling company. What's even more great is that she challenged Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World title at All Out, in which she unsuccessfully did not win. But hey, the match between Hikaru Shida and ThunderRosa made much more improvement for the AEW Women's division. She made her AEW in-ring debut where she defeated Serena Deeb, who ironically took the NWA Women's World title from her on October 27, 2020 at UWM Primetime Live. She would then offer to wrestle for AEW despite being under contract with NWA. She went on to have great rivalry with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, including their match at Beach Break and unsanctioned Lights Out match on St. Patrick's Day Slam. I gotta be honest, the unsanctioned Lights Out match is arguably one of the best women's match in AEW history. And after 11 months of wrestling for AEW, she signed a full-time deal with AEW officially on July 22nd, 2021, which was on her 35th birthday. Perhaps she could be next in line to become the AEW Women's World Champion one day, especially if that's going to happen later this year or next year. Anyways, that's all I have for today, folks. Let me know in the comment below on what do you think of ThunderRosa's appearance in GTS, and what are your thoughts on ThunderRosa becoming the new face of the AEW Women's Division. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope to see you again in the next one. Hey, did you watch the video? If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Just a reminder, make sure to tap the little bell so you don't want to miss the latest content on YouTube. Alrighty then, as always, stay safe, peace, and good day.